Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your better life.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Freeport to Monrovia access recovery. Those gets in full swing to recover stolen assets, identifies Ghana, the Ivory Coast, and Dubai as countries where stolen Liberian assets are heading. In an effort to ensure job security for Liberians, ArcelorMittal Liberia elevates about 127 Liberian contractors to full-time employees. And away from Liberia, Delta Airlines offers $30,000 to each survivor on board a plane that crash-landed in Toronto, Canada on Monday, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, including the bulletin of news, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of this presentation. We're taking a short break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
Liberia Limited and Orange Liberia. Let's now cross over to Naketa Roberts for the news bulletin.
The Assets Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force has identified 3 hotspots in the world where stolen assets from Liberia are hidden. The task force chairman, Councillor Edwin Martin, named Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Dubai as countries of interest, adding the task force is working with its international counterparts to ensure that proper international protocols and integration are applied to retrieve these assets. Councillor Martin reaffirmed the task force commitment to move the legal battle to these hotspots to ensure that Liberia's stolen assets are identified, as the institution anticipates the government officials earning in the event they are needed to aid in the investigations. According to Councillor Martin, the institution is set to battle anyone legally who will challenge the legitimacy and authority of the team. He said the Assets Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force has over the past 9 months complied with the Supreme Court stay order in obedience to the rule of law. Councillor Martin said the lifting of the stay order by the Supreme Court now gives absolute power to the entity to carry out its function in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, Councillor Edwin Martin has disclosed that the Assets Recovery team has verified and taken siege of 17 high-profile cases ranging from theft of public assets, theft through road construction companies, among others. According to him, during the 9 months of stay order by the Supreme Court, persons of interest criminally transfer suspicious money from their bank accounts, change bank title, and illegally cross government vehicles to neighboring countries. ArcelorMittal Liberia has transitioned 127 Liberian contractors to full-time employees, giving them hope of job security. Several of the new employees come from the company's mining communities in Nimba, Bon, and Grand Bassa counties. In a press release issued on Thursday, ArcelorMittal disclosed that those elevated are mostly operators of the articulated dump truck ADT. According to some of the elated employees, they have been on the job for 3 to 6 months following their training courses provided by the mobile training section of ArcelorMittal Liberia. While in training, they were given a monthly allowance to cover transportation, food, and housing. Upon completion of their training, they were offered short-term employment, STE, and have now been elevated to permanent employees or fixed-time employees. FVE as of this February. More mines superintendent said the transition eases uncertainties the operators had, stressing that it will enhance productivity. Mr. Moore added that in an environment like the mines, it takes an unbothered mind to care to operate, and what the AML management has done leaves no doubt that the operators will work well in line with safety rules and policies. The 127 full-time employees were transitioned in line with business improvement. According to the human resource business partner, Anthony Patient Joda Kabar, there are more contractors to be employed because the business improvement, something she said ArcelorMittal is not hesitant to do when the business climate improves in area of production and safety. The Liberia National Police has announced an immediate ban on motorcyclists from commuting between Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia and Freeport to Monrovia. The ban, which came into effect Thursday morning, was announced by Deputy Police Inspector General for Operation Councillor Nelson Freeman. Councillor Freeman stated that the decision is part of a broader effort to address security concerns and ensure public safety in the busy capital. The police 102 noted that the restriction followed Wednesday's violent removal of checkpoints, dismantling of police booths, and blockage of major streets in and around Monrovia. In a live interview with Spoon TV on Thursday, Councillor Freeman cited increasing incidents involving motorcycle-related accidents and criminal activities, especially in the basic corridor connecting Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia. Meanwhile, in response to the decision, a group under the banner Concerned Motorcyclists is appealing to the government and Police Inspector General Gregory Comer to reconsider the ban. Speaking on behalf of the group, Solomon Seaport expressed frustration over the action of the cyclists on Wednesday. He lamented that the ban is negatively affecting motorcyclists, leading to significant challenges for them. President Joseph Boakai has lifted the suspension of Madam David Brown Lassana as chairperson of the National Election Commission with immediate effect. The decision was reached following a high-level meeting on Wednesday, February 18, 2025, at the Executive Mansion, attended by the NEC Board of Commissioners, the ECOWAS Ambassador to Liberia, and senior officials of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. The reinstatement of Chairperson Lassana comes after a series of extensive discussions among NEC commissioners and senior advisors to the President, leading to an agreement to enhance cooperation among the commissioners and the reversal of dismissal actions previously taken against certain NEC employees. In reinstating Councillor Lassana, President Boakai emphasized the importance of unity and professionalism within the NEC. He urged the commissioner to foster closer cooperation and avoid any perception of internal discord within an institution that holds significant public trust. The Liberian Senate has finally confirmed Caillou Johnson as the new superintendent of Grand Bassa County, as well as other local government officials from Sino and Grand Cru counties. Caillou Johnson replaces the late Grand Bassa superintendent Julia Bono. The Senate decision follows heated confirmation hearing for the local officials. During Tuesday's sitting, all senators voted in favor of the officials to begin active work in their respective counties. The Senate sitting was presided over by Moserado County Senator Darius DeLorme. Sino County Senator Carton Duncan has written the Liberian Senate to summon the executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency to provide clarity about measures in place against water pollution and land degradation by miners across the country. Senator Duncan said his communication is triggered by the continual pollution of water bodies and degradation of land by illicit and local miners. He believes the situation does not only affect Sano County, but other counties where illicit minings are taking place. Senator Duncan, in his communication, said the act is detrimental to the livelihood of the local communities as nearly every stream, creek, and river has been damaged and polluted by miners. The senator's communication was read in session on Tuesday by the Senate Secretary Nabulo Semwe. Prior to the reading of his communication, Senator Duncan's request was granted to inform relevant authorities about the situation after he informed the Senate about the danger posed to the county by illicit miners. The executive director of Youth Network for Positive Change says if pandemic preparedness and response mechanisms are not put in place, Liberians and the economy will be at risk when health emergency arises. Providing information to the station regarding the community engagement in pandemic preparedness and response projects, Corporate CE, UNEDPO Executive Director Ambassador Leo Ted said the project is aimed at identifying gaps in Liberia's pandemic preparedness system and finding ways to bridge those gaps. Ambassador Ted further stressed the importance of pandemic preparedness for Liberia as a country that was highly hit by Ebola and COVID-19. As lead implementer of the Corporate CE project, UNEPO, through its executive director, is calling for community support through advocacy for the success of the project. The Corporate CE project is being funded by Global Fund through the Africa Coalition, TB or ACT for short. A foreign businessman with an investment of over $5 billion has expressed frustration over the judicial system in Liberia. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia recently, Steve Williams, CEO of the Higher Heights Group of Companies, narrated that his plans to undertake a $1 million United States dollars project in Liberia has been thwarted due to bad judicial system. Steve Williams lamented that it was disheartening for him to have received eviction notice from the Supreme Court for a property that he paid $15,000 for in 2021. He indicated that the act on the part of the Liberian government shows an unfriendly climate for investors and signaled that investors and their investment are not protected in Liberia. According to Steve Williams, as a result of the situation, about 50 family heads are presently out of job, while the case languishes in the corridors of the Supreme Court. The Ministry of Youth and Sport has clarified that it does not owe individuals claiming to be casual workers of the ministry. Making the clarification on Thursday in Painesville, the communication director of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, Oswald Brown, noted that the casual workers contract has since expired in 2023 during the regime of former President George Weah. Brown noted that the casual workers were on consultancy payroll at the ministry and appealed to Minister Cole Bangalore for consideration since it was a new government. According to Oswald Brown, upon the ascendancy of Minister Cole Bangalore at the ministry, he reviewed the turnover note and decided to make an appeal to the Civil Service Agency and the Ministry of Finance on behalf of the casual workers. He said in March 2024, Minister Bangalore wrote a communication to the CSA and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to include the casual workers in the consultancy payroll for fiscal year 2024. Oswald Brown said the process is currently ongoing, emphasizing that it does not in any way mean that the ministry owes 7-month salary arrears as claimed by the casual workers. The chairman emeritus of the Movement for Economic Empowerment has frowned at people who are criticizing the reburial of former President William R. Tubber and Samuel K. Doe as a waste of public money. James Brooks, in an interview with the station, said he supports President Boakai on the reburial of the fallen statesmen, citing it is a huge step towards reconciling the country. Brooks further lauded President Boakai on appointing 16 individuals to serve on the proper reburial committee. The former mayor of St. John River City in Grand Bassa County is also recommending that a monument be erected in honor of the fallen statements for generations to study. And out of Liberia now, Delta Airlines is offering 30,000 US dollars to each person on board a plane that crash landed in Toronto on Monday, all of whom survived. As it landed in the Canadian city, the plane slided along the runway in flames before flipping over and coming to a halt upside down. Passenger described their amazement as most of them walk away without injuries. It remains unclear what caused the incident, which is under investigation. There were 76 passengers and 4 crew on the flight, which had traveled from the U.S. city of Minneapolis before making it crash landing in Canada. A spokesperson of Delta said the money offer had no strings attached and did not affect customers' rights. Toronto law firm Roncold Genova says it has been retained by certain passengers and their families over the crash landing. Lawyer Vincent Genova said the group expected a timely and fair resolution, highlighting that his clients suffer personal injuries of a serious nature that require hospital attention. In an email to the BBC, Mr. Genova said the 30,000 compensation is an advance payment meant to assist plane crash victims with short-term financial challenges, and the airline will seek to deduct it from any later settlement or claim. That's RCN News Bulletin. Is back to Marka Davis.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a barefoot manner, we'll keep your later Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hanson the represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia.
Well, the Bulletin of News is a regular feature here on News Deck. Thanks to Naketa Roberts for bringing us the Bulletin of News tonight. If you're just joining us, you're listening to 45 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. One of the top stories we are following tonight in an effort to ensure job security for Liberians. ArcelorMittal Liberia elevates about 127 Liberian contractors to full-time employees. Today's first development tonight, the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force has identified 3 hotspots in the world where stolen assets from Liberia are heading. The task force chairman, Councillor Edwin Martin, named Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Dubai as countries of interest, adding the task force is working with international counterparts to ensure that proper international protocols and integration are applied to retrieve these assets.
As part of this solidarity support program, one of these partners of the UK is expected in the progress of the 6 in the beginning of through the aid of our international partners, Arab has identified 3 aspects in the world where the graceful liquid asset may be paid and invested. 1, country. 2, agriculture. 5. We're working over there with our international partners to show the proper international treaties and litigation are allowed for the population. I believe that it will move the legal market in those hotspots to show those stolen assets as identified trees. I anticipate all officials of government to honor this invitation in the event they are needed to aid this. I maintain that they are compliant with aims and provide speedy process in the
Meanwhile, Councillor Edwin Martin has disclosed that the Assets Recovery Team has verified and taken siege of 17 high-profile cases ranging from theft of public assets, theft through road construction companies, among others. According to him, during the 9 months of stay order by the Supreme Court, persons of interest criminally transferred suspicious monies from their bank accounts, changed bank titles, and illegally crossed government vehicles to neighboring countries.
Inform the media report that they have verified and taken series of 17 high-profile cases ranging from theft of public assets, acquisition of suspicious property, theft through fake road construction companies and construction payments, theft of public assets. During the period of the 9 months of acting under the cover of darkness, criminally transferring suspicious money from their accounts, change bank accounts, title, illegally fraud, government illegals, illegally re-spray and change their original identity and trade of vehicles, change title overnight, and falsify documents to ensure the original identity of the I would want to inform the media and the general public that intelligence and intelligence union is on the forefront and involved. Meanwhile, I will be requesting the media and the public to report acts of theft in the following category. Suspicious means in the community, serial assets, legal, equity, equipment, young machines, etc. I will say that all the important questions and identities will be protected. These are the following signs. Information facts are carried out with people now. I have phone numbers of 231-778-611-826 or 231-880-358205 and our email address. I'm so proud to say that our legal team headed by me created and kept group of companies nationwide in form of 8 days. We are set to anyone who has challenged the authority of the asset recovery community. Congratulations to the entire membership and the legal team of Advocate.
Well, Councillor Edwin Martin is the chairperson of the Assets Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force. He spoke Thursday at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing in Monrovia. Wednesday saw a group of motorcyclists removing police checkpoints, dismantling police booths, and putting blockage to major streets around Monrovia. Their action was in reaction to an accident that led to the death of one cyclist. Following their action, the Liberia National Police has announced an immediate ban on motorcyclists from commuting between Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia and Freeport to Monrovia. The ban, which came into effect on Thursday morning, was announced by Deputy Police Inspector General for Operations, Councillor Nelson Freeman. In a live interview with Spoon TV on Thursday, Councillor Freeman cited increasing incidents involving motorcycle-related accidents and criminal activities, especially in the basic corridor connecting Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia.
To begin with, the Liberia National Police regret the death of this young man, and we're in sympathy with the family. But the act of lawlessness yesterday was unprecedented, even though there have been numerous incidents of lawlessness. But the extent to which they took it yesterday, where they were targeting police officers in every look at corner, we thought was on the extreme, and we had to assess the situation properly. The police, being an intelligence-led institution, continue to get people from our intelligence sources that there are possibility of the guys regrouping and causing more havoc on society. So as a result thereof, we got this temporary measure we put into place this morning. We're restricting the movement of all commercial motorcyclists within these zones that we declare sometimes ago as compliance zone. You may be aware that about 6, 7, 8 months ago, and sometimes last year to be specific, we had a lot of engagement with the leadership of the motorcycle. So we had these places that we cut off, the Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia through the Tottenham Boulevard corridor, the Freeport to Central Monrovia through the Power Town corridor, where declare compliance zone. That is to say, we needed to make sure that you hold a helmet, you have wear-fitted shoes, you carry reflective jackets, and all the necessary registrations were in place to prepare those areas. So those same areas are where we cut off temporarily until we can do a proper assessment of level of vulnerability from our intelligence sources. Thereafter, we might make some decisions to do some adjustments as soon as our intelligence sources can inform us that the level of vulnerability is low. As you may be aware, usually the police will do deployment to various locations in Monrovia or at various locations in Monrovia to detail motorcyclists who are not in full compliance and other road users. But today we step up a little bit as a result of an incident, numerous incidents, so to speak, numerous incidents, violent incidents that have been occurring around Monrovia. But yesterday was destroyed, I broke the chemist's back. So a truck driver, while climbing the Crown Hill on the Broad Street yesterday, apparently fell on the hill, probably as a result of mechanical default or his ability to properly drive his vehicle. While maneuvering to let his vehicle land, he ran into a cyclist on the Johnson Street, almost to the slipway to the bridge at the bottom of the foot of the bridge. And as a result thereof, the motorcyclist went unconscious. The police already took him up to the hospital and he got pronounced dead upon arrival. Before we knew it, a pair of motorcyclists in their numbers, 200 to 300, took to the streets and started to run behind police officers who are assigned everywhere in town to the extent of vandalizing police infrastructures that we got along the road. You might be aware that we build a state-of-the-art booths around town, the one at Pamoma, the one here at Boulevard, the one at Boulevard. You need to take your camera here after to see the level of damage that was done. All the police barricades were in town, they started to remove them by force and started attacking police officers.
He is the Deputy Inspector General of Police for Operation Nelson Freeman there speaking with TV Live today in Monrovia after announcing an immediate ban on motorcyclists from commuting between Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia and Freeport to Monrovia. Meanwhile, in response to the decision by the police, a group under the banner Concerned Motorcyclists is appealing to the government and Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman to reconsider the ban. Speaking on behalf of the group, Solomon Sepal expressed frustration over the action of the cyclists on Wednesday. He lamented that the ban is negatively affecting motorcyclists, leading to significant challenges for them.
Citizen, we came to clear the building for what occurred yesterday. This is that took place around the city community. That some of our guys went ahead making LNP materials. We are keen to apologize to the national government for what took place. We regretted our action. We beg government that it should help us to make us to clear the street because a lot of us registered our bike, to show the bike, and now we are not going nowhere. We are passing all around in the community. So we are come as all the certainly we appeal to the national government that they should help us to fly the main street green roads, Central Monrovia from Boulevard Junction in town and all over PV we go in town where our passing for car will be better because what happens for all will happen. A lot of us here you can see we have failure and based on this motorbike that we are running, we see our children school in the rain because there is no job right now for us to do don't fold our head and be passing around for protest to protest. No, we believe in ourselves to look for money to sustain ourselves and our family. So the action that was done yesterday by our police that we get up and identify them and make us that we fall into chaos. So we are come to report that the central government to the RG that they should have mercy on us that they will never be repeated. Yesterday when the accident occurred, the police came out with our friends when I heard breaking all of the things by the police, their gates and the officer some of us we abroad we left in town yesterday and then we came home. But soon that morning when we came everywhere we locked down and the police really allowed us to fly the main street. So it is not occurred this morning. Rest assured. What I'm saying, I'm really happy because this only way that I'm driving. However, when we came up with the regulations to actually pay attention to people about bike or showing about whatever when we put us, some of us were able to go and register our bike.
Well, he is the spokesperson of a group of motorcyclists under the banner Concerned Motorcyclists. He spoke on Thursday appealing to Liberia to reconsider the ban placed on cyclists from running from Congertown to Monrovia and from Freeport to Monrovia. Well, on Wednesday, a group of culture workers at the Ministry of Youth and Sports took to the streets and gathered at the ministry to demand payment of 7-month salary arrears. But according to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the ministry does not hold individuals claiming to be culture workers of the ministry, making the clarity Thursday in Painesville. The communications director of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Oswald Brown, noted that the culture workers contract has since expired in 2023 during the regime of former President George Weah. Brown noted that the culture workers were on consultancy payroll at the ministry and appealed to Minister Ko Bangalu for consideration since it was a new government. He noted that the minister has been negotiating with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that they remain on the payroll, clarifying that the ministry does not owe them.
That information is not true. Why is true? For the record, it is a position that we all work on to follow. There was in fact, the casual work among the people who have come to the consultancy pay, and that agreement on December 2023. So when this government, Minister of Council General Bangalore, in fact, very much. During his welcome reception, he said, look, okay, welcoming, and the first thing he said, I'm part of politics, is the role, and we want to accept everybody, after reviewing and so this kind of welcome, they complain that the government is very much, and we're bringing I cannot undo what is written. However, what we can do as a government, as a ministry, we will get an opinion on our behalf to the civil service agency, and that the Ministry of Finance. And so, this administration, what it did was, on March 1st, 2024, we got communication to Director Smith, the Deputy Director for Human Resources, requesting, this is Mark Smith, I am pleased to present you to kind of request the civil service agency to include 74 casual workers or community transport in the consultancy payroll for the fiscal year 2024.
Well, the voice of Osford Brown, the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they're providing clarity on reports by casual workers that the ministry owes them about 7 months' salary arrears. Well, with little past, they have our mark. Let's cross over now to Edwin Batafoyan to bring us sports tonight.
Good evening, Marka Davis. Good evening, everyone. In continuation of the Liberia Football Association First Division League ran 19 matches on Thursday, February 20, 2025, Mate Barrow, the Rollers staged a comeback from a goal down to defeat Leska FC 2-1 on Tusa Field. Goals from Kindness Code and Jack Bleman secured the Rollers' second consecutive league victory in just 6 days after the 2-1 victory over traditional rivals Invincible 11 on Sunday, February 16 in Buchanan, Grand Backward County. Still at the Tusa Field in Ghannasville, a late goal from Talawale secured all 3 points from LPRC Warriors against defending football champions Watanga FC. With just 2 minutes remaining before the final whistle, Torale netted the lone goal to give his side a hard-fought 1-0 home victory over struggling Watanga FC on Thursday afternoon at the Tusa Field. As well as the SKD practice page in Benzo City, a stoppage time equalizer from second half substitute Ase Boga secured a crucial point for Freeport FC at home against Blackman Warrior. Boga found the back of the net in the 94th minute to help Freeport FC salvage a 1-1 draw on Thursday afternoon in Benzo City. Stay at the local scene. Liberia is making waves on the continental stage as 4 of the nation's top female referees have been appointed by the Confederation of African Football (CAF) for a prestigious international assignment. Referee Savannah W. Garnett will take a center stage as the lead referee in the upcoming 2026 Africa Women's Cup of Nations qualifier between Rwanda and Egypt. She will be supported on the sideline by Hannah Moses as assistant referee number 1, Casey Chie as assistant referee number 2. Completing the all-Liberian officiating team is Myean Dr. Lofty will serve as the 4th official. The match is set for Friday, the 21st of February at the iconic Kingali Pele Stadium in Rwanda. Liberia Football Association President Mustafa Raji recently held an introductory meeting with the European Union Ambassador to Liberia, Ambassador Nonandi Price. The meeting focused on enhancing cooperation and exploring new opportunities, marking a significant step in building stronger relationship and promoting the growth of football in Liberia. During their discussion, they addressed key areas of mutual interest, including the development of women's and youth football, infrastructure challenges, and the promotion of diversity in sports. This meeting is part of the LFA efforts to strengthen ties with important partners, ensuring that players, coaches, and staff can benefit from a wide range of opportunity. At the conclusion of the meeting, Ambassador Deprez was presented with a set of Liberian national team jersey and the LFA Women Football Strategy Plan, which will launch on October 28, 2024. And away from Liberia now, Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola said nothing is internal after his side were knocked out of the UEFA Champions League by City have endured great success under Guardiola with their trophy hoard under the former Barcelona boss, including 6 Premier League titles and the European Cup in 2023. However, they have endured the most testing campaign of his region this time around, having dropped out of the domestic title race aimed at injury crisis and now out of Europa football after Wednesday loss in Madrid. After narrowly losing the first leg of the knockout playoff tied in 3-2 defeat at Etihad Stadium, City were distant second best in Madrid with 2 east through a 63-goal aggregate. City striker Ari Haaland was not fully fit because of injury and was named on the substitute bench. And finally now, Spain former Football Federation boss Luis Rubiales has been found guilty of sexual assault for killing Jenny Hermosa without her consent in order to pay a fine of 10 million. Spain High Court has ruled he was acquitted of coercion for allegedly trying to pursue Hermosa into saying publicly that the case was consensual. Well, Marka, that's it for the sports. Is back to you.
And the number clearance, a beautiful clearance from the goal line. Denying River says they are equalizer. Jenkins again. But
Well, sports is a regular feature here on News Dex. More news tonight. Sano County Senator Creighton Duncan has written the Liberian Senate to summon the executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency to provide clarity about measures in place against water pollution and land degradation by miners across the country. Senator Duncan, in his communication, noted that his communication was triggered by the continuing pollution of water bodies and degradation of land by illicit and local miners. His communication was read in plenary on Thursday by Senate Secretary Nabala Sembe.
Invite Executive Director of EPA to explain measures put place against water pollution and soil degradation by gold mining. During my recent visit to Sino County, I visited all 3 electoral districts. Water fraud being carried out by illicit and local gold miners are detrimental to the livelihood of the local community, as nearly every stream, creek, and river has been damaged or polluted, as well fuel land degradation, which threatens our forest land and fish. Madam President, put temporary and honorable members of the Library, since the Environmental Protection Agency is the regulatory, technical, and enforcement arm of the government, which is supposed to conduct environmental surveillance and correct unregulated mining activities. I request the plenary invite the executive directors to unfold agency's role in the current massive irregular mining and for our water and to also inform plenary as to its immediate or this negative impact on our citizens. God, yours sincerely, Senator Creighton O'Donoghue, Senator Sando County.
Prior to the reading of the communication, Senator Duncan's request was granted to invite relevant authorities about the situation after he informed the Senate about the danger posed to his county by illicit mining. He also spoke with journalists at the Capitol building.
I have full towards visitation of my county, trying to appreciate the vote given to me by my people. And presiding, without any food. Every stream and river in the interior of the county is totally polluted. It touched me so much. And so I asked myself, what kind of country are we having here? Is it full of guys going to bushes? Like they call themselves class B minor, they call themselves class C minor, and just destroy our country. So I decided after and from the all who have counties that are dealing with mining, they are also aware that what I'm saying is something that is very detrimental. So I'm appealing to you. It's not just about talking about it, everybody. I want us to put our feet down. If you guys cannot come to me for this whole thing or their waste, they cannot do this to us in a third world country.
He is Sano County Senator Creighton Duncan there speaking. Well, a former executive member of the Movement for Economic Empowerment and also former city mayor of St. John River City in Grand Bassa County has frowned at people who are criticizing the Reburial initiative for former presidents William Aratoba and Samakedo as waste of public money. James Brooks, in an interview with the station, said he supports President Boakai on the reburial of the fallen statesman, citing it is a huge step toward reconciling the country.
Let's have patience. We think also the guts. I must congratulate His Excellency President America, President of the Republic of Nigeria, 100% support His Excellency. We bear all our former President, when our former and President do that political reconciliation. We put into the program. These people are not working for this country, and we must commend them also to accept the President opinion to serve their nation. People who want to come to opposition told that all the president was saying will strongly condemn that kind of statement. We're talking about the presidents money in this country. And you're talking about President wasting money. They should stop the kind of remarks. It's not good. The international community is looking at us.
Well, he is a former senior executive member of the Movement for Economic Empowerment. James Brooks there, he spoke with RCR News in an interview. Finally, the executive director of Youth Network for Positive Change says if pandemic preparedness and response mechanisms are not put in place, Liberians and the economy will be at risk when health emergency arises. Providing information to the station regarding the Community Engagement in Pandemic Preparedness and Response Project, or COPRC, the NEPO executive director, Leo Tia, said the project is aimed at identifying gaps in Liberia's pandemic preparedness systems and finding ways to bridge those gaps.
The project is a community engagement in pandemic preparedness and response. We call it COPRC for short. So it is a project that is being funded by the Global Fund and through the Africa Coalition team. We call it Africa for short. So it's being implemented in other countries and the one of the countries, and we are sub-implementing in Liberia as part of this project. So the project is basically about identifying gaps within Liberia's pandemic preparedness and response system and finding ways and solutions to address those gaps. Basically, one of the major gaps CSOs in communities talk about people with disability, people living in some communities. These are all marginalized groups. So we're trying to make sure that our voices are being heard in the real pandemic preparedness and response platform that we fed has put out, and ensuring that they have a seat at the table, and also working with stakeholders to ensure that general human rights are taken into consideration when coming up with policies, recommendations, and also working with the budget holders who further down the legislature so that they can have specific funding for pandemic preparedness and response as a country, because no one will run the next epidemic or pandemic come.
He is the executive director of Youth Network for Positive Change, Ambassador Leo Tie there speaking. Well, this is how we love to draw the curtains on tonight's presentation of News Index. But before we go, these are the top stories we followed. Following widespread violence on Wednesday, Liberia National Police announces immediate ban on motorcyclists operating from Boulevard Junction to Central Monrovia and Freeport to Monrovia. Assets Recovery Task Force gets in full swing to recover stolen assets, identified Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Dubai as countries where stolen Liberian assets are hidden. In an effort to ensure job security for Liberians, ArcelorMittal Liberia elevates about 127 Liberian contractors to full-time employees. And out of Liberia now, Delta Airlines offers $30,000 United States dollars to each survivor on the board a plane that crash-landed in Toronto, Canada on Monday, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening role. Thanks to our reporters, writers, correspondents, and editors for helping to make this edition of News Desk a success. Naketa Roberts read the news bulletin tonight. Edwin Batafoyan brought us posts on News Desk. Johnson Batolman coordinated this presentation. Myean Torgbean has been behind the cameras, carrying us live on Real TV on Facebook. Thanks to our sponsors, Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. My name is Marka Davis. Good night.
Real TV, True FM.
Say Real TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black barrel is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a welcome manner, we'll keep your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen the represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life as of the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Real TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.